Good morning and welcome to the Coffee, Card Games and Chill podcast. I'm your host, Agita Swiftly. I'm joined today by...
Rose, hi. I am a gaming seller, mostly for MTG cards, but I also sell other things, and I'm an avid gamer of pretty much everything.
So, what got you to be into selling then?
Well, the original reason was, unfortunately, my mum passed away, and when she did, she left me enough money to be able to actually start up my own business, which was helpful, as I ended up not being able to do a normal job anymore.
So, there was a silver lining, sadly, to her passing.
Yeah, and my boyfriend of the time absolutely lived, breathed, everything.
He was the
magic.
gathering.
Yes, everything was magic. And so he got all excited over the fact that I might become his local supplier.
Oh, yeah. I've got myself a pretty good source right here. What? So, yeah, I got my own stockist right here. It's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. What you need, we can get it.
Exactly. He ended up being my biggest customer when I first started.
I mean, that's good, right? I mean, you're into it. You know, you like to have some support through your friends and family, so that's good, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic. And who doesn't want to be basically a big kid for a living? I get to play games and go meet new people for a living.
I mean, all my spare time is looking after a small big kid. Then there's big kid, and there's mummy who's not happy about having two big kids. So, I like being a big kid.
Exactly. Poor Mrs. Swiftly has to look after everyone, but...
So poor Mrs. Swiftly has to look after everyone. So when this goes out, because this is going to go out on the, I want to say like the 8th of September, you'll have seen Mrs. Swiftly for the first time, technically on camera. You'll have seen her fingers opening some packs. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed something different from Mrs. Swiftly.
So you only have given them a hint of what she looks like by showing her hands.
That's it. This is what we're selling now, guys. We don't do an OnlyFans. We're doing only hands. So I have asked her to come on and be more sort of like presentable, but she said like no, she's not massively interested in being in front of the camera, but she's happy to sort of be in the background, or in this case, she's happy to open some packs because she didn't really get to. Because normally me and Catherine, what we'll do is we'll buy one thing of everything for a set of Pokemon when it comes out, because we obviously collect Pokemon. We'll open it together. And that was our kind of like treat for like the set. Because I'm obviously doing the YouTube stuff now, and it's like you got to crack open all these packs, and obviously want to show everyone like what's going on. She hasn't had a chance to do that much this set, so she said, you know, I want to open some stuff. And I was like, hey, if you want to open it on the channel, that's great. And she's like, don't really want to open it on the channel, but I really want to open it, so yeah, I guess I'll open it on the channel then.
Can't say I blame her. I'm not too keen on cameras either, which is why all you listeners are only looking at a picture of me instead of me being on a video.
It's a glowing picture though, it's fine.
Yeah, hopefully it's a flattering picture.
She sent me like 6 pictures, and I don't think any of them are bad. If anything, they might be getting some extra calls after this video.
Well, I did have a think after the last time we recorded this, because if we're going to be honest with you guys, we have actually done this once before, but the sound died on my end, and apparently you can't hear me talking at all, so it's just him talking to himself.
So at max volume, this is just a... So, yes, that audio is not good. So what's happened is, so we recorded the audio first. We did like a quick 30 seconds, see if it sound synced up. Sound was good, sound was fine. Went and recorded an hour and a half worth of podcast. Went away for a little bit because I had to go do something with the little one. Came back, went to do some editing at I think it was 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And yeah, there was no sound quality to it. It was like, oh no, the sound's gone.
But because you told me last time that you are actually an international podcast person, I did think about the fact that for if any of your listeners do want to contact me, the easiest way would probably be for me to put my business email to you, for you to put in the description box for them to contact me if they want anything.
Guys, this is for business. This is for cards. This is not to speak to her directly for fun. Business email. Come on.
I very much doubt any of your listeners would bother trying to message me for anything other than cards and dice and so on, but
We will see. Let me know otherwise, yeah?
I'm sure they'll be well behaved.
Oh, I haven't seen anything too rude in the chat, so I presume they're going to be relatively well behaved in the future. We're in a small community right now.
Considering we don't know the age of all your listeners, we got to keep everything PG.
Legally speaking, through YouTube's algorithms, I'm told it's anywhere between the ages of 13 and 45. But that also covers up to 20, so it's 13 to 20, 20... What is it? It's 30 to 18, 18 to 25, 25 to 35, and then 35 to 45.
Yes.
So that's my demographic. People.
We do all know that when asked their age, there are plenty of children that claim to be much older.
I remember back in the day when YouTube was a big thing and you had to be 18 to get on it, because I didn't realise at the time it was a dating site, or the original intention of it was meant to be a dating site.
Wow.
So if you don't know the story of YouTube, basically the guy who made it was basically trying to make like a more video-oriented MySpace. So he liked the idea of basically sending people pictures and photos and like, and then he said, you know what, I want to have an actual like media site. So he made the server of YouTube, put on their little video of like going to the zoo, and essentially it's meant to be his way of sort of like broadcasting to any women who are interested in, hey, like, I like to go out and travel. I like big animals. And yeah, so it was originally meant to be sort of like a dating site, and then it kind of like took off as just this like place where you put media clips, because there wasn't really one at the time.
I'm not sure I like big animals is the best of pickup lines.
I mean, hey, he was looking at an elephant, in all fairness.
I suppose maybe if he wanted a bigger lady, why not? But
maybe. No judging.
However, the fact that YouTube started off as a video version of Tinder is not something I knew.
It was like a weird mix between what I say Tinder now and like MySpace. It was like, are you a bit lonely? Do you want to make friends via video, or maybe hook up on the after chill? So yeah, that's what YouTube was originally meant to be. I don't think it ever took off to that point, because if you look at the old YouTube stuff, it was a lot of cringy like 13-year-olds crying in their rooms about things that didn't exist. But you did have to be 18 to get onto the site, even though no one knew it was a dating site, because it never said anyway it was a dating site when you were signed up. So I remember in like 2006, I feel like it was 2006, so you get to, I was 16 at the time, so it would be about that sort of age range. And it's like, you had to be 18 to be on this site. It's like, well, I'm 18.
Yep. Ask for your birth date, and just to be on the safe side, you're born in 1893.
That's it. How old are you? I'm this age. What age is that? Some age?
Few hundred years old.
I mean, hey, if eBay's letting you do it and Facebook's letting you do it, why can't YouTube let you be 407 years old, eh? I'm not a vampire. I'll just live forever.
Well, I always joke I'm a vampire, considering I can't go out in the sun much, so...
I can't, that's the Irish in me, I swear.
No, I'm actually allergic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, irony. Unfortunately, my disease does cause me to not get along with the sunshine.
Yeah, so she has an autoimmune disease, I believe is correct, right?
I do, yes. SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus.
So everything is bad. Even the good stuff is bad.
Well,
dust
maybe
bad,
not everything.
sun bad, sleep terrible, cold even worse.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just a walking disaster, me. But I was before the lupus, so.
Might not stop, right? Might as well just carry on being the same, right? Can't just have one bad thing and be okay everywhere else.
Exactly.
All comes in threes.
It's just a convenient excuse now.
Well, there you go. It's a real excuse. It's a medical excuse.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you? A lot of things.
Why I'm a walking disaster.
Yeah. What's wrong? Everything. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it happens.
Although I feel like we're slowly moving further and further away from the geek world to talking
card
about
games. There we go. Card games.
Yeah.
So, suppose, like, as you were correct about saying this, because obviously we talk between messages. This is what's going to happen when we don't have a script, because we just improv the first one, so we basically ask all the questions already. Now it's like, what questions do I really want to ask again? Because I know what the questions are because I've heard them. She's answered them already, and now it's like, do you want to date Rose? This is do you want to date Rose episode. So
let's
MTG Rosie.
Not do that to the poor people.
MTG Rosie, who will take this lovely lady out for a drink? when
Yeah,
it
I
gets
really
better.
don't think we need to put that on anyone. Not least because most of them don't live in the same country.
I mean, I'm sure people could maybe come in on holiday and be like, you know what, this is a terrible country. There's a nice lady called Rosie around the corner. I'll go give her a phone call. Maybe send her an email through her business address. She used to go for a glass of wine once the everything's sorted out. But so MTG is your mainstay of card games.
Yeah, yeah. I played Pokemon when I was younger, but
Did you
as
play
you can
Pokemon when
tell,
you were younger, or did you play Pokemon the way that school children play Pokemon?
both. I
Okay.
played it the way school children did when I first started, but I did learn to play, just about learnt to play the game properly when I was a little older. But as you can tell from the fact that when I asked you about the picture and why you got Chip from Beauty and the Beast,
So
I haven't played Pokemon for quite a while.
so this has been recorded on Tuesday, the 1st of September. I did put a little sneak peek up on the channel for you guys to look at to see like what the new intro is going to be, and I sent it to Rose because at the time obviously she's just a part of this situation where I was like trying to sort things out, or just to see the intro and the ending and see if she liked it. Sent it to Big Bag 92 as well because he's this week's guest. So for you guys, the 2nd of September. So obviously it's already gone out now. And yeah, she was like, "Why is Chip on this?" I was like, "That's Sinistee. It's a new Pokemon." She goes, "Oh, I didn't think it was a bit strange. It was Chip from Beauty and the Beast."
Well, yeah, I mean, I know you've got kids and stuff, but considering this was supposed to be about gaming, it seemed a little odd to have a Disney
Something about
character.
card games. And why have you got Disney on your stuff? I don't know, but don't sue me, Disney, because it's not Disney.
Exactly. So I played Pokemon as a young person.
As a youth,
Yes.
back in the
And
day.
I had an interest in Yu-Gi-Oh, but never collected the cards, but, watched all the TV programs, and I did actually watch a few other people playing in competitions. The
I'd say
first...
Yu-Gi-Oh's like I think like same for most card games. Watching someone play a card game is like the worst thing after paint drying.
Yeah.
Because the only person
Yeah.
who's really interested in that situation is the two people playing that game.
Yeah, especially with Yu-Gi-Oh, where everything is a bit kind of, and I do this, and I win.
Pretty much, yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh used to be just a very slow game. It was all about control. It was like your average game would be about 10 to 15 turns because that's how the game was. And then at some point, Konami turned around and goes, "That's a little bit slow. How can we make it so it's a one-turn game?" It's like, that's a bit too quick, Konami. No. One turn sounds about fair, right? It's like, no, but you Konami? Yeah, I think we're going to go one turn wins from now on. It's like, okay. All right, hands up. You guys, you do what you got to do. Pokemon hasn't really, in all fairness, Pokemon hasn't really changed in terms of like how you play the game. It's just how much how many prizes you return when you beat a monster, well, beat a Pokemon, is like the difference between like yesteryear Pokemon and like today Pokemon.
Okay.
So certain cards have like a different symbol. So you got like Pokemon standard cards like you're probably aware of. Then you got EXs, GXs, and then now you got the Vs and the VMAXs. If you beat a V, it's 2 prize cards you get per game, and if you defeat a VMAX, it's 3 prize cards per like takedown.
Ooh.
So that makes it a bit quicker in that sense, but you got to get there first.
Yes. The first CCG I played sort of properly as an adult and played even briefly, I did do the odd competition as well, was World of Warcraft.
Now, I've seen like I feel like it's the Ragnarok box, so I've got like a very minimal knowing of what this game does, because Catherine said she's seen it before and she was going to show me how to play, but we never got around to it. So could you explain to people how that game works?
Yeah, unfortunately they stopped doing the card game sort of physically.
Well, I know
but
originally it was for mounts, wasn't it, in the game? But you got like a little like end card that used to have a code on. If you got lucky, you'd have like the mount and something like that.
Yeah, they had loot cards, and you could. They were worth a lot of money because they had a scratch piece on them that you could use in the World of Warcraft online world.
That's about as much as I know about that card game, is that you could pick up those packs for like £3 or whatever they were, and then scratch them off, and if you got lucky, it had a code for the pony or whatever it was worth like £500 on that.
Yep. Yes, one of my first cards I did pull was some sort of raptor thing that you could have in the game. which lots of people got very excited about. But because I didn't play the online game, only the card game, I was quite confused.
Who wants this? Just everyone in the store, hands up.
But it's, if anybody plays any CCG, I mean, there are a lot of similarities really in terms of you build an army and play against other people, and obviously there are some things that have better synergy than others. So even in that, there was sort of groups of the top playing cards were things like all the elves or all the murlocs, which were interesting evil fish people.
Aha.
But unfortunately, they stopped quite quickly from doing the card game after I started. But they now have an online version. I'm trying to remember what it's called.
Hearthstone!
That's the one.
That's the one. The multi-million-dollar corporation within a multi-million-dollar corporation.
Exactly. So if any of you play Hearthstone online, that is the online version of World of Warcraft, the card game. So you could put anything down as the equivalent of a resource card if you played it face down, as well as having ones that you could actually use that were designed to be resources, which is one of the major difference between things like Magic the Gathering, where it has to be a land card.
Has to be a land card, or specifically a thing that just says, I'm just a resource.
Yes.
After obviously being used in the first turn. So, like, you put your land down, you summon it, it's like, well, you can use me if you want to, or you can just use me as a land instead.
Yes.
Look at you green things.
Whereas in World of Warcraft, if I didn't have any of those resource cards in my hand, I could put, like, a creature card face down and declare it to be a resource instead.
I'm converting this poor creature's essence into a resource. Someone get the meat grinder.
Exactly. The other difference is that a lot of games, like MTG and so on, creatures sort of revive any damage that you've done to them each turn. So if you didn't manage to kill it, well, that's it, and it still goes back to its original health. Whereas in World of Warcraft, any damage done to the creature stayed. So you could elect to do 3 damage to a creature, and if it had 7 life, it only had 4 left.
Which I think, on Verity, is probably a bit better.
Yes, you could also choose what you were attacking a lot easier. There weren't things like the player you're against electing where the damage went and putting blockers in the way. You chose what you attacked.
That's pretty good. I mean, a lot of games are like you declare who you're going to attack. Obviously, in Magic, it's more like you declare who's going to defend.
Yes.
So I think Magic is the only game that actually does go, well, I'm picking who's defending. Whereas I think every other game, it's I'm picking who I'm going to like poke in the face with a stick.
Yes. So it was the more traditional, I choose who to poke in the face with a stick, as you put it.
Oh. It's something I always found funny about Magic, because I played Pokemon like as a kid. I played the kids version where you don't play with any energies. Then as I got older, obviously I learned how to play the real game, so obviously you have energy resource management. Then I played Yu-Gi-Oh, which has no energy resource management, except management is basically your hand. So you either have a big hand of stuff you can play with or nothing.
Yep.
That's how you resource in Yu-Gi-Oh. And I've played like Duel Masters. I've played a few other like card games that have come and gone through the years. But yeah, Magic the Gathering is this weird one where it's like, I tell you who you can attack. It's like, no. Everything else is like, we tell you who you get beat in the face with. So it just seems so strange that you can decide who's defending.
Exactly. Well, one of the only other card games that I've played is the less competitive and absolutely complete nonsense of things like Munchkin.
We don't talk about Munchkin. That game just seems like chaos in a word.
Oh, it really is. Especially as there's nothing in the rules that says that you can't bribe people with things outside of the game. So depending on who you're playing with, it does get rather interesting.
I mean, I don't think there's any competitive tournaments for Munchkin. I mean, there could be. Don't quote me on this. But I feel like if you do that anywhere else into any other game, you'd be very quickly disqualified, never allowed to return to any competitive setting ever again.
Exactly, but no, if you go to anything like a large Comic-Con...
If I give you a cookie, will you ignore this move? Oh, there you go.
Pretty much. I mean, Munchkin, basically the rules are, if you can get away with it, it's legal.
That sounds very Very suspicious.
Yep.
Let's
Even
say about
things like
things
the amount
suspicious.
of cards in hand, it's mostly like, if nobody asks how many cards you've got in hand, it's not my fault if you haven't noticed.
How many cards in your hand? Cards. No, that's not what I asked for. Still cards in my hand, though. They could be 3, they could be 12, I don't know.
But if you go to a big Comic-Con and you stay in a hotel that has several other people from Comic-Con, there will often be games of all sorts of varieties in any of the public areas in the hotel. And if you join a game of Munchkin there, you will find how much the rules can be bent.
So it's not essentially like we have a strict rule policy. This is just a grade based on of how we played the game, and then we'll just throw in things that we feel like during the game.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit tough.
It's very entertaining, and it's not really a game to take seriously. You don't play it with any intention of being serious.
How dare you pull out that orange and throw it at me during this game? So if you got a strong will to play this game, but you also need to take yourself a little bit too seriously, you're probably going to lose this game.
Yeah. It's the same sort of approach as we discussed last time with D&D. If you're going to take yourself too seriously, probably not the game for you.
No, I think a lot of people sort of get this kind of like weird mysteriousness about like D&D or like LARPing. LARPing ain't for me. I'm just going to say this now. D&D might have been for me if I ever got like a group I'd play with or anything else. But yeah, you can't take yourself too seriously when you're playing D&D because everyone's just not looking at you like this. You just can't have a joke. You can't have any fun. You can't go into a room of people who's here for having a good time and be like, no grey areas. It should go here to here, and if I shoot at the back with a rifle, well, I don't know how I got it in this medieval world, but I got it in this medieval world.
Exactly, especially as for D&D, I personally absolutely adore D&D. I do have my local group, and I play regularly, or at least I did before the wonderful coronavirus.
The big life-changing event that happened to everyone in this world.
Unfortunately. But you can't take yourself too seriously. If you're somebody that would cringe at the thought of pretending to be an elf on the weekends, then it's not for you.
No, if you can't be a guy in a tutu walking through the street saying everyone's gorgeous and sexy, you ain't for you.
Exactly.
If you don't feel disgusted by my disgracefulness, then it ain't a game for you.
Yep, especially if you want to be a bard, where that does appear to be basically how they play the game. Is I'm going to flirt my way through life and
I have 10 charisma, 1 stamina, and everything else is at 0. How do we play this game?
Yep, I'm going to seduce the guard because I can't beat him up, so I'm going to make him fall in love with me.
And if that doesn't work, then I'll trick him into giving me his keys.
Yeah, or steal them on the way past.
Apparently now I'm a rogue bard who's just whoring myself out and stealing keys.
Yep. And occasionally, strums the odd guitar string.
I got to support the team somehow, right? I got to shoot out a ballad or
oh yeah,
a
I
poetic
do love
sentence.
That is a bard spell, is to basically take the pee out of people. You mock people, and it does damage to them.
You sound like a swine.
Is hilarious.
You sound like a swine in human form. Look at that shirt. When's the last time you had a wash?
Yep.
Be gone, knave.
Yep. It's so insulting that it actually does psychic damage to them. You give them major insecurity issues.
There you go. You got like 2 life bars. You got the actual physical form, and then mental health just plummets. Yeah, sticks and swords are alright, but what about words?
Yeah. Well, like a lot of games that sort of have the spell elements and so on, there are various types of damage, and different characters are more susceptible to some than others. So there's psychic damage, there's all the different elements and so on. Mm-hmm. And for bards, biggest thing is, yelling abuse at people.
Come over here if you think you're hard enough, mate. It's like, yeah, you're sort of bard, yeah, but I've still got a barbarian and a warlock here. Don't worry about me. If I can't win you down with me words, I'll send this guy to send a fireball at you, and this guy can hit you in the back of the head with a mace. It's fine.
Fireball, yep. Mages answer to pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of mage are you? Burn? Fire mage. Oh, okay. Not nice mage. Yep. No. Electric. No. Wind. Nah. What do you do? What's your specialist? Fire. Because everything burns.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm an evocation caster through and through. If it's not on fire, it should be.
It's not on fire, because it's going to be on fire in a minute.
Yeah, if it burns, it should be on fire. But they are, as one of my DMs puts it, glass cannons.
Oh yeah.
So you do need a rather large and bulky character to stand behind.
That's it. I'll put you on my back so you can do your fiery from a little bit higher, and I'll make sure no one can reach you.
Exactly. Because pretty much one hit and poof.
That's it.
Yep. They can do incredible damage, but they can't get hit or they're gone.
Level 27 mage. What HP you got? 11? Oh. Okay. Oh, you're going to do very well then, are you?
It's not that far wrong.
What, you're level 30 paladin?
Really don't. Yep. They get hundreds of XP and you're sat there like, yeah, got nothing.
How's your HP? Nothing. It's still here, just don't have a lot of it.
Yep. My life bar is the equivalent to, one hit.
But especially in those later games, right? It's like, if I can stand back here, and I can just somehow lobby this fireball to the back of the room, it's fine, right?
Yes. Although, after a while, pretty much all the characters do become godlike, but mages particularly. If you make it to true end game levels, you do become pretty much unstoppable.
Just burn a town down, right? It's like, poof, done.
Yeah, so I'm going to walk around with this shield and some mage armor and all this stuff. And then if you upset me, I'm going to literally make you evaporate.
There you go. I'll literally burn the essence out of you.
You just don't exist anymore. Bye.
Well, they tried, right?
But D&D is fantastic. I love the fantastic world that you can live in. I'm not a fan of reality. Reality is boring. It's why I became a geek.
That's it. Did you become a geek, or was you always a geek?
Well, there is that, yes. I'm not sure there was any point that I wasn't one.
Okay. So I'm a little bit older than you, so you won't remember this, but do you remember the D&D animated series?
Of course. And films, yeah.
So I don't remember the films. I remember the actual weird series. That was a weird series. Was it Snarl, like the weird dragon cat thing?
Yeah.
They had like obviously
or something.
Yeah, they had like the actual like characters. You had like the wizard and the bow girl, and then you had the I think he was meant to be a knight, but I don't think he was a knight. He might have been a paladin. And I think the kid was meant to be a thief, but I don't think he ever did anything wrong. I think he was a very goody two shoes kind of thief.
Oh, thief with a moral compass.
See, it was a children's show, so they can't just go around saying, "Yeah, steal everything, kids. It's good for you." Just make sure you buy our toys, yeah.
Well, they do have, Robin Hood type things for kids. You could be a Robin Hood style. Only steal from the bad guys.
I don't think they ever start. Well, I don't think they ever did anything wrong to any good people, but I feel like they got dragged into the world when anything was needed, and they got sent back. No, the series about them trying to get back home, wasn't it? They got dragged into the rule book or something like that. And they wonder why the American people thought, like, this is a bit satanic. I can't argue with that. Did he just get sucked into a book? I can't really argue with that statement.
Yeah, for your American listeners, it's really not anything to do with satanic cults.
No. So
except unless you're a warlock, and in which case it's literally about you basically being in a satanic cult.
But not the satanic cult, just a satanic cult.
Well, yeah. Yeah, Lucifer's just one option for who you can worship.
That's it. There's a mythra of like demons out there in the world. You can pick one. I'm sure he'll have a spot open for you on your satanic circle. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, the D&D thing was essentially like D&D is Satanism, MTG is Satanism, Pokemon are anti-Christian. I don't know how that works. I mean, I know it's the old evolution thing, but it's like, are you really upset by that Pokemon?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
but then look at Yu-Gi-Oh compared to a lot of the other ones.
Christians that believe in evolution. It's only the true
Puritans.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's probably just never really happened, Yu-Gi-Oh is very quite satanic if you look at a lot of its imagery and a lot of its monsters and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose so.
There's a lot of kind of uniqueness to that card game.
But if you take anything back to its origins, I mean, they thought any form of magic, witchcraft, or anything was to do with Satanism, and So that means that any fantasy-style game is going to be to do with Satan.
Yeah, although most of them nowadays are about robots, it's fine, right? Satan doesn't
Well,
control robots, it's fine.
No, it's fine. They'll kill us all by themselves.
There you go, just giant robots. Just giant mechs just going... Perfectly fine.
I do feel we've gotten off topic again.
Yeah, we're on about... at least it was something similar to the... So, obviously you do MTG stuff, and you do a little bit of Pokemon, you say, as well?
Yeah, I've still got all my old cards and so on, but I haven't collected cards for many moons.
No, I feel like once you become a vendor, as I would say you're a vendor, I think you say otherwise, but I feel like you stop being a fan of the game and start becoming a fan of like the product instead.
Yeah, especially when you end up playing the same stuff all the time, because I end up going to far more than just one event a week. And then on top of that, you're supposed to keep up with what's new, what's coming out, what's everybody playing, what the prices of everything. And you do kind of get a little bit
Overwhelmed.
Swamped with it, and then you don't love it anymore. And so I stopped playing at every event I visited, because otherwise it stopped my love for the game, and I didn't even want to talk about it anymore, because it was, oh god, not MTG again. Anything but that.
Not my livelihood, goddammit, just leave me be.
Exactly. And so I had to stop playing at every event I went to, because otherwise I just got bored of it. And people want you to be enthusiastic about it, because they want to come and talk to you about these cards and what do you think about for this deck, or people hand you a deck and say, what do you think, is it any good? And it's, you've got
I did that once or twice or anything like that, you know.
Yeah, so you've got to love it.
What about these artifacts? And you're like, I have a massive box of artifacts. What do you thinking? It makes me stab people harder. Yeah, I probably got a couple of boxes of those things. I'll have a look for you. I'll bring you a little I think it was like a little stack of like 30 cards. It's like, here you go. Check out what you want and let me know as soon as the price is. It's like, yeah, cool, thanks.
Yeah, especially new players. I mean, they're not very specific, and as you say, a bit like you coming to me and saying, I want these. Okay, what do you want it to do? Stab people.
Just stab people harder.
That doesn't really narrow it down much, but alright, I'll have a look.
Yeah. You asked the question, I was very specific. I just wanted to hurt people harder than what I currently hurt them for.
But you've got to have some enthusiasm and enjoy it in order to help people more. You've got to want to build good decks and things for knowing what to advise people to use. And
so we're not saying like rogue decking and net decking here, but we are saying like you need to have some knowledge and go, well, this card is significantly better than these like 6 cards that do virtually the same thing, but this one does it for cheaper, or this one does it for like you get like an extra damage point for the same amount of cost.
Exactly.
So you have to know your stuff. You have to pretend you go around flinging these cards to people's faces.
Exactly. So you do have to sort of still have some enthusiasm for the game, and the only way I could maintain that was if I didn't play every hour of every day, because that just got too much.
So as we discussed this in the original version of this podcast, I used to run a Friday Night Magic group here in my house. We did that for I feel like 6 months, and it just basically I've already told this story before. Me and the wife both work 12-hour shifts, but we work opposite each other. So I do the first 4 days, she does the second 4 days. So depending on when the Friday landed, depending on like who was basically not going to sleep that night. So but my wife works at like 3 in the morning until like 5 at night. So even though we both do 12-hour shifts, she has to get up early just to go in early, to set up and stuff. And then when she finishes, she'll like drag herself home after being tired. And so when you've had like a house full of rowdy nerds, despite what you might think, they can get quite rowdy, come round and have fun, and everyone's shouting about killing each other, or specifically Hayden. When you go to bed at like midnight, you go to bed at 3 o'clock, you don't really get much sleep.
No, not really.
But we enjoyed it.
I can understand why that was a bit much.
No, so we did enjoy it. It's just like we couldn't physically keep up with it ourselves as just constantly side. If we had like a regular 9 to 5 Monday to Friday job, it'd be perfectly fine. But being we are on that rotation, was just too awkward for us to do it.
Yeah, well, I go around sort of several local clubs. And,
or did?
Well, yes. Before coronavirus, I went round several local clubs and did various events throughout the weekends. So I was not only at your place some Friday nights, but then at various other places throughout the country
Just be
every
sick.
weekend.
Only round here on Friday nights for Magic the Gathering, nothing else. Just Magic the Gathering.
No. Well, you have just mentioned the fact that you're happily married, so I do hope that they assume...
I never said happily, but I am
else.
happily married, just to put that out there as well.
Okay, so yes. Alright, unspecified happily married.
Yeah. I didn't specifically say I was happily married, but just to put that out there, yes, I am very happily married. We've only been married for a year and a half. Well, coming up to second year now, but definitely, definitely worth the time and effort spent for the original part of the relationship to the marriage. I'm sure she feels the same way, except those days when she wakes up going, I can't do this anymore. Why are you such a nerd? I don't know.
Considering I attended your wedding and you seemed fairly happy about it, I'm going to go with happily married.
I'd say that. It was a good day. It was a nice fall day for a change. I was expecting probably the heavens to open, but I believe it said sunny all day, so can't complain about that.
Yeah. So, yes, for those listening, we are actually friends in real life. We have met each other several times in real life, and
I would say a good couple of dozen, plus she came to my wedding with a few of her friends from the MTG community.
Yes.
So it was a nutty day for all who were involved. Although the one did say I couldn't play MTG at the wedding. She's like, you can't bring any cards or anything like that to the wedding reception. It won't work. I was like, I mean, it would work. You just wouldn't like it.
Yeah, no. I would
card games.
definitely agree with your wife that that's not for the wedding.
No card games at the wedding. I was like, okay, fine. I'll behave myself for a change.
But I do go around various clubs and groups normally in my local area when it's not coronavirus, and even run my own events sometimes from my own house, or have people invite me to private events at their place because they want extra cards. And I hope to be able to go to some of the bigger Comic-Cons and things to be able to see what everybody's liking and doing and all that kind of good stuff, and maybe even enjoy some cosplay, because it's going to be a while before I can do that now, so at least I'll have time to come up with an outfit.
There you go. Outfit, makeup, hair, get it all done, get it all sorted. As soon as you get there, done. Perfection.
Well, indeed, as I mentioned to you more recently, I have even started to do that side of things. And
which will probably be the picture that we can currently see of her here in her glorious makeup. Well, I'll say transformation.
Well, depends on which picture you chose, but
The blonde
possibly.
So, yeah, it feels like you would be like, I want to say, Cersei from The Witcher 3. The girl, I can't even remember her name.
I guess I did look a little bit like that, though it wasn't my intention at the time.
I was just like, you dressed up as her. Okay, that's cool. Not much there. It's like, you got the trousers, white shirt, sword, do your hair. It's not too bad. Quite a simple cosplay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't my intention at the time, but
There you
does
go, got an
sort
idea
of
now.
look a little like her. But I've just started doing special effects makeup and things the last sort of year and a bit, and so hopefully I was going to be sort of enjoying that kind of thing on Halloween, and even offering to help other people with Halloween makeup and stuff, but that never happened because coronavirus. Yay.
So yeah, Halloween this year sadly cancelled, everyone. Same with Bonfire Night for us non-Americans. But next year, hopefully, we can have candy from strangers again.
Yeah, it is an odd holiday considering we teach children not to take candy from strangers.
Yeah.
And
Don't take
talk
candy
to
from strangers. Satanism is bad. And the whole idea that Satanism is bad is because it's based off the pagan rituals, or pagan belief, which is just essentially a way of like supporting the earth as opposed to being like Satan. So yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah. But, for one night a year, yes, go beg random strangers for candy.
Yeah.
It's
Well, yeah,
fine.
just take candy from strangers and be part of the anti-Christian rights movement. Yeah, just be part of any of those demonic sects over there. It's fine. It's good. Just one night though. Just one time a year. It's fine.
Well, considering neo-paganism is all about everybody agreeing with everyone's beliefs, I do find it interesting that people talk about it being Satanism.
Yes, I've always found it quite strange. Like, this religion's basically like everyone's fine, it's all cool, and yet everyone's like, that's the devil religion. Don't talk to them. Don't look at them. So we know you're at MTG. how much?
Yes.
What would you say your collection expands? Your sale collection is.
Oh wow. I wouldn't even hazard a guess these days. I mean, it's thousands upon thousands of cards. I literally have one of those rooms that, you know, in cartoons where they shove everything in a wardrobe or something and then shut the door, and then somebody opens it and they just cascade everywhere and they
Just
get
a sea of
buried.
cards just leaking out of the door.
Yep, it's one of those rooms that, to be honest, if you move any of the boxes too far, you won't be able to close the door. That's how full that room is. And that's just the sort of general cards. I then have stacks and stacks of folders for each colour, and I have so many cards.
But what would you say was your oldest cards that you have? What's the oldest set you believe that you own?
I do have some cards from... I have the odd, like, common that might be from Alpha, because they're slightly different shape for those that don't play. If you're wanting to tell different sets apart for MTG,
Look at the shape.
then yeah, the very first cards were printed with a different shape to the rest, because they didn't start putting set symbols on for MTG until later.
Was it Ice Age?
It was...
Or Arabian Nights? One of the earlier
No,
sets.
it was a little earlier than that, because Ice Age was actually a few sets in from them printing the different sets on. But yeah, they had, as you say, Arabian Nights and the Urzas and so on.
So Urza's weird, because there's an Urza set like the late 90s, there's an Urza set like the early 2000s, isn't there? But they aren't that close to each other.
No.
It's like we went away from Urza, and was like, you know what, Urza's pretty cool, we'll come back to Urza, yeah? So,
well, they did that with a lot of them and sort of did a return.
So people
like
complaining
Return
about...
to Ravnica is actually the name of a set.
That's it. People complain about Return to Ravnica and the Zendikar arc that's coming back, you know. There was some time between these ones, I feel like 3 to 4, maybe 5 years. But the Urza one was like, Urza, coming with like 2 or 3, like the 1 year between them was like, you know what, Urza did really well, we'll do Urza again. And then it was the, I don't think it was, maybe it was a bit later, I'm going to say Kawagawi sets, the like the Japanese inspired sets that everyone hates.
Yeah.
Everyone hates.
Yeah.
That's it. Everyone hates those sets for some reason. So I think because the card power is really bad, but the actual the spell and the like equipment art cards actually weren't too bad, and I think a lot of people were upset by that.
Yeah, some of the cards in that were pretty powerful, but in general the set wasn't.
Quite weak, yeah.
Yeah. There were worse sets, and there are some cards in Kamigawa that are worth money still, but there were definitely worse sets than Kamigawa.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
As I say, so obviously, as you said, you've got like the old, in brackets, misshapen cards. Obviously, the original format for the cards, up until I'm gonna say modern. So you got like modern day stuff as well.
Yeah, so I have maybe the odd Alpha card, but not many. Most of them start at more like revised and 3rd edition type cards. Right the way through, I've got a fair selection from most of the sets, even the older ones, until cards from about a year ago.
That's not so bad.
And then didn't get much chance to get much modern stock before everything started to go sideways.
Yeah, don't think anyone really predicted this happening, really, did they?
No, unfortunately not. It's not been ideal, as you say, for the entire world. Everybody's been trapped.
That's it. Do you like it? No. Well, sadly, you got to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually that social anyway, but considering how long I've now been stuck, I'm starting to get bored now.
So, I don't think it's going to be okay me saying this, but she was saying to me in the last episode of this, the original recording, that she had a car accident at the end of last year, which had basically left her housebound until around about mid-March. Great, she thinks, I'm going to go out and have a day out, I'm free again, and then 2 weeks later, lockdown.
Yes. Yep,
No
I've
longer free.
literally had one outing since the start of December last year. So if we don't include that, I have been housebound for about 9 months.
I knew people were complaining for your 4 weeks, goddammit, or your 6 weeks, or some of you people who were more like shielding were like 15 weeks. Try and do nearly a full year.
Yeah, because I'm still getting chemotherapy and so on. I'm always high risk, unfortunately. So I haven't really been able to go out except hospital appointments for some time.
You know, the stuff that's desperately needed.
So, no,
Sure.
even though I'm not the most social person, I usually go out, you know,
You're a bit more
every
sociable than
once in
this.
a while.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people say like introverts don't want to go out. It's like not so much they don't want to go out. It's more the fact that they haven't got a choice anymore, and they're kind of okay with it. Where when it's 9 months, it's like I kind of want to just go and see like anything right now.
Yes. Yeah. Even if it was just to go to a coffee shop or like look around a shop. I have even started to miss supermarket shopping. That's how bored I have gotten that I miss the supermarket shops.
So for you guys in America, from what I can tell, England's been pretty okay with the whole like not massive like rallying to burn down any shops, but yeah, shopping wasn't that great here for a long time. It's starting to get back to normal now, say last month or so. So yeah, just kind of a usual experience. Nothing is amazing. You don't get to pop into shops anymore and see like two old biddies like taking each other out for the last toilet paper anymore. So sadly, you miss those days.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't have to fight anyone for rolls of toilet paper.
No, I don't think many people did. I think they all seem to have got taken in the night. But because whenever you see like any of the group Facebooks around the area, they'll be like, "Someone's taken all the toilet paper, and we can't figure out who." It's like, oh, okay.
Yes, there's now going to be a handful of individuals that have an entire garage filled with toilet paper that they now don't know what to do with.
I mean, it probably lasts the rest of their lives, so enjoy that, I suppose. Never have to go shopping for toilet paper again.
Well, there's that.
You can always give it out to friends and family, like, hey, look, I've got a couple of extra rolls I don't need. You want some? Sure, how many you got extra? 12, 13,000? Oh, that's a few extra.
Yes, so before coronavirus caused me not to be able to get stock and things, going back to your original question, I have...
Should you put stocks in toilet paper? No, you shouldn't put stocks in toilet paper.
I have cards all the way up until about a year ago.
Okay, so what set was that? That was... So I haven't played for about a year and a half.
Yeah, I've started to lose track now.
Was it Return to Ravnica?
So long
No, that was the one before it, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I've started to lose track because it's been so long since even I've looked at it because I've been stuck and can't sell anything. Because I can't even sell online because I'm not allowed to go out to the post office.
No. So I'm sure if you were a big enough seller, they'd happily come and take it from the house, but I think you have to be quite a big seller this day and age.
You do, yeah. Or pay somebody, which then adds to the cost of what you're going to sell for.
Mm-hmm.
But no, because they stopped doing yearly sets and said they were never going to do them again, and then restarted them.
Yeah.
And it
we won't do yearly sets, but we're going to do some yearly sets. Oh, okay. That didn't last very long. We needed the money. A lot of lawsuits, you see. If Wizards of the Coast is known for suit right now, it's a lot of lawsuits because they say a lot of stuff and they don't have a filter.
Exactly. So I think it was Core 20 was one of the last lots that I was looking at before.
Okay, so that's been literally a year then.
Yeah.
So what's Core 20? Core 20 is their June, July set?
Yes, something like that, yeah.
So yeah, obviously we're 21 now, which I think didn't go down too well with most people.
No, apparently not, but
Yeah.
I didn't actually get into that before everything went sideways for me.
And then the other thing that happened obviously was the VIP packs, which also went even worse for people.
Yes, apparently so.
What was that? Set your own prices? Sure, why not?
Yeah, that was never a smart move.
That was somebody who wants to just go and like... Yeah, what's just like, we'll sell this to you for like $30, you can sell it for what you want. What? It's like, yeah, we're not going to put any RRP on it, so you can just sell what you want for. Sure, £100 a pack, why not? It's like, yeah, that doesn't sound good.
No.
And then the average pack value is about 30, which is like probably what they paid for it.
Yeah.
That seems very strange.
It was never going to go well, because if sellers said to people, pay what you want, well, people are going to want them for free.
Yeah.
And then if you say to sellers to sell them for the price they want, as you said, it's like, oh great, I'll sell them for ridiculous money per pack.
And then every chain store that's obviously got them, so not so much in this country, because I don't really think Magic the Gathering is sold anywhere other than actual hobby stores really around here. So in America, obviously, you got Walmart, you got Target, you got Best Buy. They sell anything, basically, anything and everything. Amazon sells as well. So if they all put the same price, about 100, then as I suppose a hobby shop, do you put it for 95 and say, like, look, I'll take the £5 loss, even though technically it's like a £60 game per pack or whatever it is?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a seller like myself, you do have to undercut everyone else, because otherwise why would they buy from you when they can buy from, as you say, Amazon or any local hobby shop? So it does make it difficult if there wasn't any margin in the first place to be able to make any profit.
Mm-hmm.
It was never going to be a good idea for them to tell everybody to pick their own prices on a product. That was never going to go well.
That just seems like not necessarily the stupidest thing I've heard from a company, but it's one of the it's up there with just some of the other daft things a lot of these bigger, like more billion-dollar companies do for the sake of it.
Yes.
Although that rumor is constantly getting spread around now for the last like 6 to 9 months that Hasbro's just finally had enough of Wizards of the Coast. It's like, you may make us a lot of money, but we can't deal with you anymore. Can someone please buy them off us?
Yep, the problem child. Somebody take them away.
So you made us lots of money for a long time, but you just say so much daft stuff now that we just can't deal with it anymore. Like, our lawyers just can't sleep any longer.
Almost as good as the 24-hour team that Donald Trump apparently needs for his Twitter account.
Yeah, apparently that's... well, I don't think they can sue Donald Trump. That's the difference, because it's the like, you can't sue the president.
No. And it'd probably be a bit pointless trying to sue Trump anyway. I mean, the amount of money he has for good lawyers, it'd probably make it difficult.
Yeah, if you look at his like actual tax returns and everything, he's not making any money whatsoever, but the cost of those lawyers says otherwise.
Yes. Yes. Not making any money, but, you know, runs million-dollar corporations.
You know, just the standard. Just the usual.
Mm.
Just your everyday stuff from a multi-billionaire. That isn't a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, I wish that if that was how you could live with no money, you know, I wish that was the lifestyle I had with no money.
So I feel that's also a lot of people wish, like, I have no money, but hey, it doesn't matter. I've got, you know, a jacuzzi, all the food and drink I ever wanted, a multi-story house built for me for peanuts. Yeah, I'll be okay with not having anything of tangible value anymore.
Exactly, and don't forget the worldwide hotel chain, so you could go stay wherever you want in those as well.
But they don't make any money, so it's fine, right?
Well, exactly.
It's fine. So, obviously MTG and D&D are your things. Have you considered getting into any other card games as a side hustle or a possible re-hustle?
Well, I had a look at it, but because you've got to understand the game and keep up with it all the time, it does make it difficult for me to break into any new market, especially as I've stated, unfortunately, I'm not really able to do a full-time equivalent anymore. Mm-hmm. And so to keep up with more and more games, you slowly end up needing more and more hours just to do the basics of each thing. Because you do have to, even if you're not actually at events and so on very often, there's still sort of product research and keeping up with what stock you've got and things that go on in the background that people don't notice.
I always feel like I know a little bit sort of about the background of things. A lot of YouTubers and PokeTubers who do this, like vending as sort of like their main gig or their like their side part with, like, say, a part-time job, or trying to juggle YouTube, a part-time job, and vending, as I keep saying. But they'll tell you, obviously, when you go to order a set, it's like it could be up to 6 months in advance before you even know, like, what's coming out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take a gamble. What's it called? Oh, I don't have a name yet. Yeah, give me $17 for that. I don't know what it's called yet.
Yeah. And you don't know what prices are going to be for cards truly until a good couple of weeks after they come out. before you'll know their true value, because everything goes up and down like yo-yos when they first get released, and
So you get your pre-release prices, which is ridiculous because sometimes it's just inflation out the ass. And then, as you said in the last video, which again you guys probably never would have seen unless you guys went on a blooper reel, you know, somebody at some point during that period of time will then realise that this card that was worth like 7 cents is actually now like a $5 card because it's actually ridiculous with this actual already mainstay deck. Or like this card over here, like does something degenerate with another card that's actually also in the set that people didn't realise at the time, because obviously you can't playtest these cards if you don't know what's in them.
Exactly.
But
and of course the other way round, of people that see a card and before anybody's played with it, they read it and go, oh, that must be amazing, and charge 20 quid for it, and then people actually try to use it and go, yeah, this does nothing.
This
now
is
it's
trash
50
money.
cents.
Yeah, this isn't even worth the card what it's printed on. It's awful.
So it's definitely one of those things that you've got to try to keep an eye on the price of everything, and things change all the time, so you do end up having to monitor everything. And then, as I say, I've got so many cards that it becomes ridiculous trying to keep track of all your stock and what you have, and it's several hours of fun that people have no idea you do.
See, I always say to Catherine, I love opening cards. And like Catherine, even though she has OCD, I think she quite enjoys actually organising the cards. And even doing that for a living, I've kind of considered it before, saying, hey, should I like save up a bit of money, go like all in on a set that's coming out like in the like 6 months, like 4 months time. For me, it'd be Pokemon, because Pokemon as a rule, like Steel product will sell for that set. Like I can literally go, yeah, this is my prices. I still make £10 per case or whatever it is. Prices are still like ridiculously good. And I can sell everything I'm making, make like £5 profit on it. And that's how Pokemon is. Pokemon's all about like selling seal product, because a lot of the time the cards in there aren't worth like 10 to 15p. Whereas like Yu-Gi-Oh! And even MTG, it's all about selling the singles, because the singles are worth more than the sealed product. Not always, but that's especially with Yu-Gi-Oh! But maybe not so much with MTG. But with Yu-Gi-Oh! It's definitely like everything should be opened and sold rather than trying to sell as a sealed product, because that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is.
Yeah, I mean, with MTG, it depends on the set, and
don't open those VIP packs, guys.
You are.
Don't open those VIP packs. You ain't getting your money back from that £100 you spent. you frame that pack on the wall and you go, I paid £100 for this. I don't know why, but it's there in case of emergencies.
Yep. Put it in a tiny glass box with one of those little hammers next to it, and break
in case of emergencies.
But for some sets, there are certain singles that are worth a ridiculous amount of money, and so it's worth having those to sell. But at the same time, if you don't get one of those in your box, well, then the rest of the set's probably not worth as much as the box.
Yeah, definitely.
And so for some sets where there's only the odd, really expensive card, it's actually usually better to sell the boxes, because people will buy sealed product in the hope of getting that one money card. And then there are other sets where there are plenty of money singles, and therefore it's worth opening it all and selling it as singles.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the set for MTG.
So Pokemon, it's very much that you want to sell the singles because, like, as you've said, pulling that one good card from a set. Pokemon as a rule is notorious for having like no value in its boxes. Besides like literally one card. Like for instance, now it's Charizard VMAX, which is worth around about the £100 to £140 per card. It's not massively uncommon because it's a regular card within the set, but it's getting hold of it, which is obviously the issue. So it's estimated that essentially you'll get like 1 to 2 per case, which if you think, alright, that's £550 for a case. These cards are only worth 120, let's say 125 each. Well, that's only 250, so you're not going to get your money back on the original cases. The next most expensive card after that is only £35. And you might only pull one of those per set, like per case. So all in all, if you sell everything back, you're probably going to make like £400, including all the other valuable cards in that set, plus all the commons.
Exactly, and it's the same for some sets of MTG. It's just not worth opening the boxes.
Yeah.
Plus, everybody likes it to be like Christmas and opening the presents.
That's what you gotta do. I mean, if you've seen the channel recently, I've literally opened, in the last 2 weeks, I think there's like 10 videos of me opening stuff. So yeah, I can't complain about opening things. Opening things is my thing at the moment.
See, everybody loves to sit and open things.
That's it.
It's the excitement of what you're going to get, even if it's not worth money.
Evolution's pure trash. I'll throw that in the bin. But yeah, I love opening everything else in that box. It's like I was quickly watching before we recorded this. Delirium Pokemon. They're I suppose like an internet vendor from America.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing us like what their stock currently is, because they do YouTube videos, they do Twitter videos, and they sell as well. And they were going through all the things they had. The cheapest thing they had was boxes of Evolutions for $135 a box. It's like, I'm surprised you can sell it for that much. Evolution is such an overprinted set that I couldn't probably, like, people still pay like $3.50 for a pack. It's like, there's no value in that set though. It's so overprinted.
That's quite impressive if you're saying that there's no value in those, considering that the average MTG box, when you're selling them as the ones that are in standard, you only pay about £80 a box.
So I'm not sure what they pay for, like from your distributor. Obviously, it's been some time, so obviously prices will generally saunter up if they've been selling them quite quickly. But I feel like the average price of a Pokemon box is about 83. And then, well, what it used to be is you used to be able to buy them for 87. And I think that's when they used to sell them for like 70 to 75. So you get like them for like 83 to 85. And the last year or so, the set's base value for a box is like 92 to like 96.
Okay.
So I think something happened when we left the EU, but because they're printed in Belgium for the most part. So I don't know if like, they got like a little bit of travel expense on them, because obviously they're coming from Europe and obviously coming over here now, so that's put the price up by like an extra tenner. So if we say they get a box that's 83, and they sell the box price here for like 95, so they're only making £12 per box. But if you're getting like 500 cases in, which has got 6 boxes per case, that profit does add up quite immensely, especially in good sets like this, especially with the Pokemon community. We always know what we're going to get in the future, because we always get the next set after Japan. So essentially, we got our set on August 14th. Japan got their new set like yesterday.
Okay.
So we know exactly what's in that set. So everyone who's like, I want that card, I want that card, I want that card, they've already pre-ordered all their stuff already.
Yeah.
And we get that, I think, at the end. It's either the very end of October or the very beginning of November.
Oh, wow. Yeah, whereas for MTG, America gets it slightly earlier than England, but not
enough to get like a...
significantly earlier.
That's it. So obviously the stores might be told like in June, hey, this set's coming out like in November. Do you want to pre-order anything? They can have a quick look on the internet, see what's like being leaked in Japan. This card looks good, that card looks good. You know what? This set's selling like pre-orders in Japan look amazing. Yeah, put me down for like 10 cases, or put me down for like 2 pallets, or whatever the minimum order is for your discount. And you go from there. But Evolutions, just specifically Evolutions, and I know people hate on like Steam Siege for whatever reason. I like Steam Siege. It's got some very nice cards in there. It tried to do that double element thing again, which they haven't done for a long time in Pokemon. I only did it for one set because apparently a lot of people didn't like it for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, Evolutions is just in everything. I don't know if they... Evolutions is essentially a modern day version of the base set. So they tried to regenerate some interest in the base set. They reprinted it into like modern format, so it was like things had a little bit more HP, things were a little bit stronger, but all in all they were just the same cards. And they just mass printed these cards to the point now that 5 years later, after the set came out, they're still putting the boosters in boxes because they just printed too many.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Someone was saying the other day, I was reading online, they're saying actually they've just printed them still. They're not. It's not that they've like got a mass warehouse full of them. There is no way that after 5 years, and you know that people don't like these sets because, as I say, they're trash money. There's nothing in them of any value. The highest card in that set is like £20.
Yeah.
It's not worth putting money into like try and put the £20 card, because you ain't going to get anything else out of it worth any value. And it's like they're not going to put like 2 or 3 printers per factory on Evolutions so they can print less of something else which is worth more value.
No.
And
nobody would do that.
And some people think like, well, they keep giving us these packs, they're obviously constantly printing now. It's like, no, they've literally had like 10 million packs printed because they thought they'd go crazy. They thought they'd like reinvigorate everyone's wanting for base set. And when people obviously got their sets really early because they weren't that hard to pull things from them, and they still had like 5 million left in the warehouse, it's like, well, we've got to get rid of them somehow. It's like, just put them in another product. Put them in like the little collector boxes. People love opening things, right? Until you literally have every single card in the set, and then everyone's like, I don't want to do with them anymore.
Yep, start giving them away.
Well, that's it. They start putting them in things you pay for. It's like, I don't want to pay for this pack of cards. It's like minus value. So I always say you always get like, I'm going to call it like a legacy pack now. It's not really legacy. It's like 2 sets out of rotation. So it's always like an X and Y pack. So you'll always get like, you'll either get Ancient Origin, a Steam Siege, or a Evolutions. Those are the 3 sets you normally see in stuff today. And whenever I see an Evolutions, I'm always like, could have been anything else.
I'll take any other one.
Could have been any other set. And people are like, why? Evolutions is good. If you like fake base set, then sure, I'll take Evolutions over fake base set, but it's just the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want the same stuff over and over, especially in... I mean, MTG reprints stuff, but it's the odd card in each set.
They'll reprint it in like a core set, just obviously say like, hey, look, we know these cards were like key, or these cards are obviously commons throughout the sets, throughout the gears. Things like the spiders and the Shivan dragons, obviously they're like kind of in everything because it's just like a main staple of, hey, this is the culture of Magic the Gathering.
Exactly.
But like with Pokemon, it's like, I don't want the set of cards that you can't sell because you can't sell them. Don't put them in things that I'm paying like a premium price to buy, because I don't want that. I'm not buying it for that specific pack in the back there that you can't get rid of.
No. No,
I mean,
you want to add that as an extra to stuff. Not...
It's like, oh look, we actually give you an extra pack of cards. It's an Evolutions. Yeah, I don't mind then. But if you're essentially taking out a pack of cards that I'd actually enjoy, it's more of a grey area.
Yes, you don't want to lose out on something better.
No. It's like, for instance, I opened the True Steel Premium Collection this week. It'll be going up. Went up today, sorry. So that went up today. So yeah. So as I say, recording this the 1st of September. That went up today. This is going to go out on like the 8th of September or the 9th of September next Wednesday. So I opened them up, and there's like 2 of the new set. Brilliant. There's one of the, like the original base set from this set. So it's Sword and Shield. So you got Sword and Shield. You got 2 Darts Ablaze. You got an Evolutions, which was instantly like just throw it to the side. I'm not even going to bother opening that. You've got Cosmic Eclipse. You got a Burning Shadows. Yeah. So you got the 6 packs. Burning Shadows has a card in there. It's a chase card that's worth like 150 to 170 pounds right now. So yeah, put that in there. Great. So if someone pulls that, you actually earn some money out of it.
Excellent.
Cosmic Eclipse is just within rotation, so it's obviously trying to get like more cards in rotation, which makes sense. Because it's still in the what I suppose we class as the MTG modern format. It's in the Pokemon format.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you're trying to get the support cards out of that for more people. Sword and Shield is like the first, is the base set of this set, so it's like obviously people want to finish the collection, people want to get more cards out there. There's a few cards in there that are worth like between £30 and £50. So unlike like this set, there's only like 2 cards that are worth any money. That set's got like 3 or 4 that are actually worth some money. So that makes sense. You want to try and get more out there. And then Darts Ablaze, obviously, if everyone wants, because it's got the new Charizard in, that's worth the money.
Yes.
So you can see like what they did, but it's like picking that one pack there of Evolution. It's like I'd pick any other thing for the last 5 years to put in there than Evolution. So I'm just fed up of seeing it.
Especially if they are flooding the market with it, because even if it was something you liked, it would stop being exciting after the like 100th pack you'd seen.
If we just say, for instance, I'll never know how many numbers they have because Pokemon doesn't normally say how many numbers they make. And I don't think a lot of companies do just for safe, just so it doesn't like break the secondary market, because as we know we can't really play hot potato with the secondary market. That's an illegal action. If we say just for a flat number, they make 100,000 tins of everything.
Sure.
And every single tin will have at least 1 evolution pack in.
Yeah.
Well, that's 100,000. Sorry, yeah, there's 100,000 more packs on the market from that 1 tin. But they also make 3 other copies of. Well, they make 2 other copies of that same tin. Except the only difference is it's a promotional card. Is what promotional card you get. So they put 300,000 more evolutions out onto market.
Which is already going to start to drown it if they'd done it as a set previously.
It was originally the last course, well, I'm going to say, last main set from X and Y. It was, I think it was their 20th anniversary. So for the 20th anniversary, they redid like base set Pokemon.
Yeah.
So that was 2000. That was 16. Sorry, that was 4 years ago. So it's 2016. So after that, everything that's had a tin, a collection, or a mini tin, or a Pokeball, whatever's come out, 95% of the stuff that's come out on the market has had an evolution pack inside of it.
Yeah. If you flood the market that much, even if it's something that people were excited about, you're going to ruin any
love for it, because it's just so many on the market.
Yeah.
But if you say, like, every set has 3 tins, and they have 4 sets a year, so that's 12 tins, automatically right there you put 1.2 million packs into rotation.
Yeah. Which...
That's without, like, all the other, like, extras you get, like, the premium packs, which come with one for some strange reason, or the promo collector boxes. They always come with, like, one extra in. So if you think throughout the year there's always, let's say, 25 extra like side products, including the tins, that's 2.5 million packs of evolutions additionally added each year to the market.
Yeah, which is going to destroy the value of anything that did have value, and everybody's going to have every card in the set before long.
And then all you hear people saying is, like, I want to get a booster box while I can. In all fairness, they're not shipping out the booster box anymore. That hasn't been happening for a couple of years now. But when the packs are so readily available, it will sink the price of a booster box.
Yes.
Which is where the thing about Delirium came from. Because he was saying, like, we got all these older booster boxes, and they're like, Burning Shadows booster box is $220 per booster box.
Mm-hmm.
And Evolutions, which is an older set, is only worth $135.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just the intrinsic value of these two boxes from buying from their sources. And so obviously, just to get the difference, there's $85 difference between the two boxes, because Evolutions will never have a real great value until there's literally everyone's burns all those cards, because there's just so many on the market.
Yeah. If the market's flooded with it, nobody needs to worry about getting hold of anything, so it's never going to be high in price.
So I said to Catherine as a joke the other day, I said, oh, I bet we've got a booster box worth of singles for Evolution. She's like, no, we don't. So alright, we'll go look at Vincent's collection, because we put all our Evolutions so he can open for his 80th birthday. There was 47 packs there. It's like, yeah, he's nearly got a booster and a half. So by the time it's 18, there'll probably be like about 3 or 4 cases worth there. Yeah,
that's impressive.
So yeah, Vincent, we don't care what you do with these. You can literally throw them in the bin and set them on fire. But happy 80th birthday. Just do what you want with them. Absolutely no value at all right here.
How sweet.
Yeah. So he's got other stuff in the Steel collection that is already worth more money than what we paid for it. He's got like try to look over there right now. He's got sealed theme decks that are worth like an extra £5 than what we bought them for like a year ago. So there's value there. They won't really be worth a lot of money until like he's like 25. So another like 18, 15 years till he actually gets like value out of those, where like, they're going to be worth like £30 to £35 each. We've got a collector box up there that's worth, well, when it came out new, it was like £46, and it's now worth like 110. We paid 65 for ours, so in the few years that we've had it, it's already nearly doubled its value since we've got it. So there are things that are valuable in the Pokemon community worth keeping. Like, I always say, if you can afford it, buy a booster case or put it away somewhere. Just not Evolutions. Any other set, yeah, put it away. Any other set, like, it's worth putting in the corner and forgetting about it for 20 years, because it'd be worth double to triple its money. For instance, looking at X and Y Flash Fire, that to buy a box of that now is like £500.
Yeah.
And that's only like 6 years old, I want to say.
Yeah. Same as MTG. If you leave anything in a corner for several years, even the ones that weren't,
was it Kaladesh that had like a really weird, like, it came out and like tanked in price, and all of a sudden it's gone like to like $200 a box now?
Yeah. Or anything that, you know, even the ones that aren't loved, like the Kamigawa set you mentioned and so on, well, they're several £100 a box because
I bet now, like, that's it, I bet now, even if someone goes like, I hate this set, but it's like, yeah, you try and get one for a reasonable price, and it's like, yeah, they don't exist, because no matter how much you hate them, they're actually still worth some money.
Yeah, I think one of the only ones that hasn't really gone up yet is the Born of the Gods and Journey to Nyx boxes.
Yes, but that's
for some reason nobody really liked those.
No, I think I did hear basically that was like the only sets that will never have money, because everyone just hates them so purely that they can't make money.
Yeah.
I'm sure, I don't know if you like watch any of the MTG community on YouTube or Twitch, but a couple of people I watch, they're store owners, and they go in the back cupboard and it's like, yeah, I've got like 6 cases of these, I've got like 10 cases of these, I'll never sell.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the same. I've got several sealed boxes of them that I'll probably struggle to shift.
They'll bury you with them.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll take these to my grave, quite literally.
But then I have got boxes of other things that hopefully will make up for it, so...
Hopefully. So what, being cheeky here, obviously being very cheeky, what do you think's worth investing in at the moment that might be actually worth holding on to for next, like, 10, 15, 20 years?
Oh, wow, okay. Well, obviously, any of the sets that people are enthusiastic about, if they've...
You mean like Godzilla Corona Laser?
Yeah, exactly. If any set people are still enthusiastic about it several weeks after it's released, and cards are still holding their value after it's been released, then buying boxes of that to keep will be worth it, because it will increase in value once people can't get hold of it anymore. Mm-hmm. Any of the ones with like special cards in, particularly important land cards, are always worth investing. People pay premium money for things like the fetch lands and the shock lands and the original Zendikar boxes with the treasure cards and things in. Anything
nice
with
boxes.
specialised... Yeah, anything with specialised lands and cards like that are always worth investing and keeping aside, because...
Would you say things like Kaladesh would be worth doing the same thing too? Obviously they have the energy system. Or do you think energy system was a once done thing and it's been put away and we'll have a look at it again?
Well, considering it is only used for that set, and on top of that it wasn't... So it's not something that will be a great land card to use any time. And on top of that, not only does it only work with Kaladesh, but there was masses of it printed. So I wouldn't say that that was anything special. It was just the thing.
I did say that,
set.
but thinking about not what's in Kaladesh, isn't Masterpieces in Kaladesh?
See, now those...
That's it. I think there's something in Kaladesh. I was thinking like, there's something really valuable in Kaladesh, and obviously I was like, wait a minute, no, Masterpieces are in Kaladesh, right?
Yes, so those
and they're very pretty.
Are worth money, but
Yes.
the energy cards,
no,
I
bin them.
wouldn't say they're worth anything.
Bin them. Look after your Masterpieces, but burn everything else.
Yeah, Masterpieces are like the things that they brought back, because that originally they did it in some first run prints of Zendikar. The original Zendikar was the first time that they did specialised cards in sort of a few in every case of boxes, and so the Masterpieces are like a rerun of that.
So yeah, so obviously hold on to your Kaladesh if you can.
Yeah, hold on to anything with
Zendikar if you can.
Masterpieces. Hold on to anything with shock lands, fetch lands, anything with cards that are used throughout the years, and everybody always wants to get their paws on.
How do you feel about the current situation where they printed dual lands and then said like, this is how much they're worth, but we have no idea what the actual value of these cards are worth, but worked out to be about the same price as the actual value of the cards?
Yeah.
We have no idea what the stock market on these are, but we're going to say about £150. That seems to be a good random price, right? Just.
Well, yeah. I mean, depending on which one it was, that's not far off. A couple of them were more than that, but reprinting them is going to make them drop in price. So anybody that does own them is going to be miffed that what they owned is now going to drop, especially if you're a seller. I didn't have any of the original dual lands, but I've got to say, if I got a stockpile of them to sell in a special folder, I'd be a little bit miffed that now they're flooding the market with them.
I'm going to say, I'm super surprised how much Gaia's Cradle's worth nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, any card that they suddenly break, it goes up in value, and there are some that just don't drop again.
No. So the original the original dual lands are like, I feel like a minimum, are like 200 plus at the moment.
Yeah, the more popular colours were well over £200, but the
So
ones that
last
were the
time I looked,
least
which was a
popular,
good long time ago, which was I think was for a blue-red one. I think the cheapest looking was about 227.
yeah.
That was like
Anything with
3 years
blue
ago.
in, and the blue black and blue white were
Mm.
particularly high. But the ones that were sort of like green and red, that kind of thing, were less popular, so they were maybe a bit under 200.
Oh, there you go, guys. You want to play some kind of weird aggression overgrowth deck? There you go. Get your cheaper dual lands.
Yeah, well, in the sets that they were first printed in, those colours were not as powerful.
Mhm.
And so for a long time, they were significantly less money. But now, all the colours are worth playing, and so they're just insanely good lands for any deck,
Yeah.
assuming you're playing Legacy.
Or in Commander, to be honest, because Commander obviously can use the colours quite efficiently.
Yes. And you gotta love Commander for being able to use practically any card and make it worth using.
This colour is trash, except in Commander, where it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, most games that aren't Commander don't go on long enough to use the ridiculously expensive high mana cards. But in Commander, especially if you're playing against several people, the game goes on forever, so you can afford to play out these huge, monstrous creatures.
So any of the Eldrazi, for instance, just like, yeah, this giant squid thing, can't really use it in Standard or anything really that isn't Commander, but you can use it in Commander, it just wipes the floor. It's fine, just done.
Exactly. I love Commander for that. You can make any card work in Commander.
So we haven't mentioned this in this episode, but Rosie is known to be the tribal angel lady.
Yeah, it's not my most competitive deck, but it's definitely my favourite to play.
Don't get on the wrong side of the angels.
No. Well, as I mentioned to you when we previously recorded this, the large weapons that they hold might be a clue that they're slightly violent.
Just a little bit, in all fairness. So if you don't get to see the artwork, you may be a bit surprised, but once you see the artwork, it's like, that doesn't look so friendly.
No, big flaming swords and things.
Big giant maces, flaming swords, like two size cards that hold like one katana in one hand and a claymore in the other one. You know, just trying to throw some angel animes out there.
Yeah. Completely innocent and well behaved.
That's it. Don't come over here. We'll have to go over there. It's fine. So, what is the future for Rosie? What are you going to do? What obviously after the current situation? What's your next plan?
Yes, well, I hope to start running some more events again. I had just started running my own sealed events for people to come, and they paid so much, and we did big sealed and draft and so on, and I literally made like games days out of it, and people got prizes.
So I do remember you sort of talking to us about this just before we finished doing our stuff here, that you were going to try and do like a sealed day or like a sealed Friday night magic for us.
Yeah, and I ran one, and it was really fun, and everybody had a great time, loads of packs for people to open and so on, and we were planning the next one but didn't get around to it when everything went poof. Yeah. So more of those. And as I've mentioned, I'd love to be able to go to some of the bigger events and bigger Comic-Cons and that kind of thing. Not just for MTG purposes, but for gaming in general, but even for the point of view of my business. You get much more of a feel for what people want to buy, what they're excited about, that kind of thing. So I really want to be able to go to a few of those. And then, to be honest, I think I'll be spending sort of the imminent future repairing the damage that coronavirus did. I'm going to have to rebuild contacts and reset up groups and get everybody talking again.
You can't transmit coronavirus through card games, guys. It's fine.
Well, a big part of being somebody who does what I do is becoming friends with everyone and going around all your local groups, keeping everybody happy and so on, so they want to play. And at the minute, so many groups have completely shut down for so long that they don't really exist anymore and might not even talk about starting back up. And so I will spend a significant length of time probably just resetting all the groups.
Which, not necessarily as a business point, but obviously as more of a friendly with them group. You know, you obviously miss going out and spending time with them as people, as well as actually getting to play the games you've said you quite enjoy and love.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I am a huge gamer first, and the business is just a happy bonus. And so I will be running around to see friends and play games again, even without the business side of things.
So, obviously, we're all hoping for this to end soon. Realistically, probably another year. So, yes. How will Rosie be for another year?
Other than very bored, I've had to find new hobbies instead of going around and annoying people in gaming clubs.
So what are you doing then currently to fill your time?
Well, I mentioned the special effects makeup. I've been doing various lessons in that and trying to work out. I've started trying to work out how to do the silicone effects, which is what they use on movie sets.
Yes, they're very cool. Well, a little bit of history. I'm sure I've said this before. I used to be into drama at school. Did 5 years of it at school, and we did like what you call like more like stage art. So you do like your proper sort of base makeup-y. And then we actually had someone come in and show us how to do like special effects artwork. And yeah, some of those silicone like casts are ridiculous. Like how they can do them is just amazing.
Yeah, so I'm learning how to make my own silicone casts. You have to make the molds and do the sculpts first, and so on. So I'm learning things like that, and indeed just freehand effects work with painting it straight onto the skin, and general artwork, as I have always had an interest in art in general and do a lot of sketching and things. So
I feel like for a lot of people obviously in the CG community, like how much of what we do is based around artwork.
Yes,
so
much.
A lot of people that will say like, oh, I'm not really interested in artwork. It's like, you play Magic the Gathering, you play Pokemon, you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you play Vanguard, you play all this stuff. Every time you touch one of those cards and you play it, the artwork is telling you a story.
Yeah, and if anybody is honest, even when they play decks and they're using like basic lands, everybody looks through for their favourite pictures and artwork on the lands.
Definitely.
I mean, there's a reason that the John Avon artwork is worth so much, and it's because he makes the prettiest lands.
There's a specific reason why they did their own, like, from the Vault version of just his artwork. It's because people know he does some good artwork.
Yes. Yes. Him and Karl Kopinski are very impressive.
Isn't Karl Kopinski known for, like, putting himself into the actual game, like, 3 or 4 times, like, actually drawing himself as, like, the background art?
Quite possibly.
Yeah, so I think he's got the most number of like references to himself in his own artwork. It's like, you got like 4 or 5. It's like everyone else got like 1 or 2.
Yes, he's quite an interesting artist. He has a load of social media, so it's easy to follow him and have a look at some of the stuff he does.
So originally, I don't know how true this is, apparently he used to work for Warcraft. Sorry, not Warcraft, Warhammer.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me at all. His artwork is...
So if you look at his artwork compared to like Warhammer, yeah, it's very similar. Yeah, it's all this like over sort of like toned, like big outgoing artwork. So you can see why you could definitely work obviously for Warhammer as well.
Yes, definitely. He's got that kind of style.
He would have definitely been a good 90s comic book artist for the over-toned muscles and these people with like no body sizes, just muscles and pecs.
Yes.
Where is he? Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to let you go because you've already been here for an hour and a half and I feel like you could probably do anything else the rest of your day.
Not at all. It was great coming. Hopefully you'll get some comments saying that I wasn't horrendous. And maybe
I'm sure if anything else, like, who's this weird bearded guy? Like, why using this girl was on instead? So, I expect that. It's my channel, goddammit. You know who I am. Leave me be.
So, hopefully, if you get the odd comment saying that I was okay, I will be able to come back sometime.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you again. I'll let you have a brief rest, especially since this was recorded 3 days after the first one, which was nearly 2 hours long. With all the other bits as well. So hopefully you rested up a little bit first. Thank you again for coming on. Obviously, we'll get you back in the future. Even if everyone says this person's terrible, I don't care. It's always nice to have someone who's actually willing to come on the channel and talk. because obviously you're doing this out the goodness of your own heart. No one's getting paid. No one's getting anything otherwise. Yes, you are getting a little bit of advertisement, but the advertisement doesn't exactly claim your time back.
No. I very much doubt any of your international people will care about some random small-time local seller.
You never know. Prices are good enough. You never know. So yes, thank you very much for coming. So guys, peace out. Thank you for being here. We'll see you guys next week for a 4th edition of the Coffee, Card Games and Chill podcast. Hopefully Rose will come back again and you guys don't scare her away. And if we do, hopefully we'll see you in the next few months or so. But until then, goodbye.